this is so funny because honestly, every single time I've traveled with Jeremy, we're always in a rush. Really?
Yeah.
No, seriously?
Yeah.
Hi, if you're new to our channel, we're Yvonne and Jeremy. We got married in 2020, and last year we went through some major changes and transitions in our lives.
While we explored nature in the American West, our hearts were drawn to how we met to begin with, going to new places, learning about new cultures, and making new friends. Today, we're flying to Thailand. It's the day before we leave for Thailand, and I cannot believe that we are about to get on a plane for the first time in almost 2 years. The last time we were on a plane was actually for our honeymoon. So we're flying Japan Airlines all the way to Bangkok. Getting to this point was pretty hectic and difficult, to be honest, because it just took a lot of effort. So for those of you that don't know, Thailand reopened on November 1st with a Test and Go program. But then on December 22nd, they suspended that Test and Go program. The terms of the Test and Go program were that you needed to test negative for COVID 72 hours before flying, that you needed to test negative on arrival, and then you needed to test negative again on day 5 or day 6, and then after that you'd be free to do whatever you wanted to do. But since that time, on December 22nd, they canceled new applications for the Test and Go program. And so I hurried and got our applications in before the day was up in Thailand. Just managed to squeeze it in within 10 minutes of that change. And the next day we were issued our Thailand passes. So under the changes that they made on December 22nd, there was a Phuket Sandbox program that was up and running where you'd just be limited to Phuket for the first 7 days, or you had to do alternative quarantine, which was 7 days if you're vaccinated and 10 days if you're not vaccinated. And they said at the time, if you had your Thailand Test and Go approved, that you could continue to enter under that scheme. Well, along the way, the Public Health Ministry proposed various times to set a cutoff date that was announced to first be January 10th and then January 15th, and we were scheduled to come in on January 20th. And so the whole thing was up in the air, plus there were some potential exposures to COVID along the way. But somehow, by God's grace, we have been able to stay clear of COVID so far. We tested negative yesterday, and we're getting ready to get on our flight tomorrow. Kind of nervous, don't know what exactly is going to happen or if there's going to be some positive tests along the way. We're fingers crossed, hoping and praying that that doesn't happen, but still really excited for what's to come tomorrow. So for those of you that have considered going to Thailand or thinking about trying to go to Thailand, so the Thailand Pass application is just about COVID safety, and that's in addition to any visa. If you need a visa or if you want to stay longer, that visa application is also necessary. So they want proof of vaccination, they want QR codes, they want Thailand specific insurance in case you are infected with COVID and have to quarantine. The insurance pays for your accommodations or your quarantine time. There are a lot of different documents and technicalities. You need the round trip airfare, you need to document where you're going to stay. So there are a lot of different steps in place even to just make this happen. So I'm so thankful that we were able to get things together. So the secret is, and I actually have to step away from the house in order to tell this secret, is that through points and paying for the taxes and fees, we are actually going to be flying to Thailand in business class. Now, I've never flown in business class before. I don't know if I will ever do that again, but the timing was good, the deal was good, and it seems like a good way to remain isolated from people as we make our first foray out into international travel in 2022. Yvonne has no idea, and I'm gonna surprise her in the morning before we go to the airport.
It's official! Today we're going to Thailand! Well, right now I'm actually more excited about going on an airplane because it's been so long since we've last been on an airplane. And honestly, I feel like all of our friends and family have been on an airplane already. I would say that compared to our 2-month road trip that we just ended, I think we're packing a lot lighter this trip.
All right, so we're all packed up and ready to go. How do you feel?
I am so excited.
Actually, I have a surprise for you today.
What's the surprise?
We're going to be flying in business class today.
Really?
Yeah.
No, seriously?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I was gonna wait till the airport to surprise you, but then I thought I thought you'd have your mask on, so the reaction wouldn't be as satisfying.
Whoa. I don't even know, like, I don't know how to react because I've never imagined flying in business. Like, I've never even done research about business class, so. Whoa.
Flying in 2022 is a lot different. We have not just our passports, but a ton of different documents that we need to show in order to check in. So definitely needed to print out a lot of different things before we departed.
Can I see your Thailand Test?
Yeah.
So this is okay. Can you ask them? We got our tickets.
Yay!
We're off.
This might be my first time in a lounge. I have no idea what to expect, but here we go. Apparently the One World Lounge is not open, so I guess we're going to the Star Alliance Lounge.
This is so funny because honestly, every single time I've traveled with Jeremy, we're always in a rush. Or the schedule's really tight, or we're holding like 1 billion luggages, right? But then this time we've arrived to the airport way earlier than our boarding time, and we're going to a lounge, but yet we're still like rushing everywhere. And I'm telling Jeremy, slow down and relax. We gotta enjoy this time. We got a lounge.
I'm trying.
And we're gonna go to business class. This is gonna be a great day. Don't rush. We gotta enjoy the process. I hope you guys can see my smile behind my mask, but I'm just so excited.
I feel like this is too swanky for me. I'm not really sure that I feel worthy to be in this.
I was still like waking up in the morning, and like everything was just very exciting. I had that like nervous jitter in the morning, and then with that surprise, I was like news after news after news. Wow, this is like luxury. I'm having my coffee now, so I can finally wake up, even though I've been awake for like 3 hours or 4 hours.
We made it. We're boarding the plane now. First time in 2 years. Here we are. So we have a blanket and a nice pillow. earplugs, lip balm, toothbrush, eye mask, pocket tissue, and Yvonne will love this, a moisture mask.
Ooh.
There's also a nice set of slippers to wear during the flight. On the menu, there's a choice of a Japanese menu and a Western menu. Definitely choosing the Japanese menu. After the main meal, there's also a selection of things that you can order anytime throughout the flight, up until an hour and a half before landing.
All right, now the most exciting part of business class is that you get a seat that lays flat.
Oh my gosh, this is such a luxury.
This is crazy.
So this is the arrangement of the bento plate. So this is what everything is. This is so pretty. It's like, it's too pretty to eat. Oh my gosh, there's abalone there. Okay, so on the top left corner, it's radish and carrot in vinegar sauce with abalone. Oh my gosh, I don't even eat abalone like outside, but I'm eating this on a flight. Wow, this is really good. And then there is fish cake, simmered shrimp herring roe, simmered kelp roll. It's a very fancy name. I've never read these words in my life before. It's like very crunchy. Yeah, very crunchy. It's like a party in your mouth. Sweet simmer, chestnut paste, candied dried anchovies. What an interesting combination. I wonder what that would taste like. Kind of tastes like yam. Like sweet yam paste. Oh, the anchovies is not as salty as you think it would be. So actually complements the taste very well. It's pretty sweet too, the anchovies.
That was not at all what I thought it would taste like.
Really good.
No, it's not bad.
Tuna sashimi with egg yolk vinegar and a little splash of wasabi, I think, on the bottom. Actually, it's kind of sweet. Sweeter than I thought. Maybe it's the less the vinegar. Yeah. But it's tuna sashimi, so it's good. The bigger plate, the one on the bottom right, is chicken meatball, Japanese rolled omelet, sliced duck breast, dry cured ham with sesame oil and cream cheese. Alright, so I'm gonna eat the duck breast. Looks very tender. I would say that this doesn't actually taste like duck, it tastes like ham. It's very juicy. Ground chicken, juicy, and a little bit sweet. I feel so undeserving to eat this on a plane.
This is awesome.
My favorite was the herring drum. That one was kind of a surprise because I've never had anything like that before. It's just a very nice, crunchy, umami taste. I love it.
My favorite was probably traditional, the tuna. It was just really, really good with the egg yolk sauce and the wasabi, which was not too strong.
Okay, so I thought that was our meal, but that was just an appetizer. So this is the real meal.
some special Japanese rice, miso soup, a combination of salmon and some beef sukiyaki, and then some pickled vegetables for the main entree. This looks super good and I'm super excited to eat. Start with the soup. Even the rice is super good.
Really?
I don't know what to say, but everything's really good.
I feel like I'm hitting a food coma right now.
We have white chocolate and pistachio cake for desserts. It looks really good. And petite, which is just what we need because we're already pretty full. Yeah, it's creamy and slightly sweet, not too sweet.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
This is so comfortable. I can extend my legs. And this chair actually has a massage function. So, wow, this is awesome. Okay, good night. So we have about 3 more hours on this flight. I've been having a really good time just reading, and Jeremy's been working, but we ordered a meal. I don't know if I'm going to order a meal because I'm still pretty full.
I have some seared black cod with some egg, some tea, some soup, pickled vegetables, and rice. For something that's on a plane, this was very, very moist, linked perfectly cooked. I'm impressed.
Wow, now you make me want to order one too.
So because Jeremy's meal looked so good, I caved and also got a meal. So this one is different from Jeremy's. This is rice bowl with stir-fried pork and cabbage yuzu chili flavor. I'm excited to try it, but to be honest, the pork is a little bit dry. So I wish I ordered what Jeremy ordered, which was the cod. But no complaints here because it's a very awesome meal. Okay, so this is so funny because I went from debating whether or not to get a second meal to not just getting a second meal, but also getting a third meal. So this is my third meal. This is the mushroom and spinach risotto. Apparently it's very popular today. I got the last one. I'm just trying to get the perfect bite. Here's the mushroom, spinach, and risotto. Alright, one bite. Wow. The umami flavor from the mushroom is like bursting out. The mushroom's very juicy. That's the highlight of the dish. Wow, this is very good.
Cool.
I wasn't gonna order anything else, but the flight attendant said that this was very good. It's a Yoshinoya beef bowl, and so I'm eating it.
We're off to our connecting flight. We are in
Japan.
Japan.
So this lounge is a lot more crowded than I thought, for sure. Well, it's because a lot of the lounges are closed and only the first class lounge is open. So everyone is here trying to catch a bite before they head off to their next flight.
This is the curry beef.
Really good. sushi that we'll try to devour before we go somewhere where there are fewer people.
Oh, it's good. Wow. The fish is really good. It's really fresh. Wow.
It's good.
Isn't mind blowing?
So we just left the first class lounge. There were a lot of people there.
We're moving on now to our next gate to take our final flights to Bangkok.
Oh my gosh, I feel like today I've just been eating and eating and eating non-stop.
You excited?
Yes, I'm excited.
Let's go.
Next flight. Right behind this wall. Thank you, right here. This is our seat.
Wow.
Look at it. Got the front row.
This is like my 5th meal of the day, and I pretty much feel like a glutton at this point.
I feel really delirious right now. This looks so pretty, but I'm so full. And I'm also really sleepy. What should I do? I think I succeeded in eating all the expensive stuff. I feel so bad. I have no room for all the food, and this is just an appetizer. We still have a main course. Ooh. What I'm learning from the business class experience is there's such thing as too much of a good thing.
I don't know if I'm gonna eat tomorrow or at what time I'm gonna eat tomorrow. There's fish, curry, and fried chicken with lotus root.
We just landed in Thailand. We're finally here. This has been a very, very good business class experience.
We're here in Thailand.
Woo!
It took us a few minutes to fill out a few forms and to gather our paperwork, and now we're gonna pass through. We've just passed through customs at the Bangkok airport, and one thing that was unexpected is we had to provide accommodation after day 7 so that they could be able to locate us and contact us in case anything happens. So there were 2 checkpoints. First, a Thailand Pass checkpoint where we had to gather the Thailand Pass QR code, proof of hotel stay, and the negative COVID test, and then sign a document. And then after we were checked for that, then we proceeded to immigration and customs where they checked our boarding pass, they checked the immigration card before we could pass through to baggage claim. It's really warm. Okay, thank you. So it took us about 40 minutes to get out of the airport and go through all the different procedures. Then about another 30 to 40 minutes to get to the hospital where we got our PCR tests, and it was probably the most painful one that I've gotten so far. That was the most painful PCR I've had so far.
Oh no.
Yeah. No.
Thank you.
crying. That was really, really painful. It's one of those where he just poked through it and then like tears just went down my eyes because it was so painful. You can still see my tears. But then I think because I have a more sensitive nose, since my nose is smaller, so he had to do it a few times because I just couldn't bear the pain. And I was just basically crying the whole time. I'm glad we're done.
And then after that, took another maybe 20 minutes to get to the hotel, to check in, to sign the required paperwork. And then after that, we are here in our room awaiting the results of our PCR test. So we're confined to this room for the next at least 6 hours, and then they'll contact us as soon as possible with those results. So with the Test and Go program, it's 1 day quarantine until you get a negative PCR test, but that means that it's also compulsory to book a package where you are shuttled from the airport to the hotel and given a PCR test on the way. That package is actually somewhat pricey, but this is what it takes to enjoy Thailand during this time. It's a new day here in Bangkok, and we got our phone call at 7:30 this morning that we tested negative on our arrival test. So that leaves one more test to be done on day 5 or 6. But under the Test and Go scheme, we're free to move out and about, around the city and around the country. But we're probably going to be taking things easy the next few days to make sure that, we don't somehow become infected between now and that next test. So at the hospital, they had some tents set up for COVID testing. Half of the tent was for quarantine people, and then half of the tent was for Test and Go people. There was no line when we got there, so we got to check in. We had to write down some of our information, our contact information, give our pink slip, and then after that, we pretty much got tested right away, and it was done within 5 minutes.
Oh, you're so sweaty. Oh no. Oh no, that's gonna be... I'm kind of dazed right now. Just like need to sit here and collect myself because that swab test was pretty bad, but not as bad as the first time. I think this time I was more prepared and I told her to be more gentle. So I think she did that, so I really appreciate that. But once she took out the swab, it was like tears just involuntarily came out. And I can still feel it right now, like that stab, that poke up my nostril. It's just very uncomfortable. I hope this is the last time we have to do this.
Definitely not. So less than 6 hours after we finished taking the second PCR COVID test for Test and Go, we got a negative result back. They emailed it to us. It was available online. And with that, we breathed a gigantic sigh of relief, and we're getting ready to head out to Krabi in southern Thailand tomorrow. So super excited for that. And as far as Test and Go is concerned, we're all in the clear. We're gonna keep wearing our masks, try to enjoy our time as much as possible. So that ends our travel saga to Thailand in the early part of 2022. If you're new around here, don't forget to hit that like button. It helps people to find our videos, and also hit that subscribe button so you can see more of where our adventure in Thailand takes us. We'll see you in the next one.